Yo, what is good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch and Gaming News video. Today, we've got some great topics for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Destiny 2 has the biggest UK launch in 2017. However, it sold half than the original as far as physical copies go. So Destiny 2 is the biggest launch of 2017 in the UK, as it debuted at the top of the charts according to Chart Track for the week ending September 9th. Sales for the game were 58% lower than the original game released back in 2014. 58% of Destiny 2 sales were for the PlayStation 4, while 42% of the sales were for the Xbox One. Now, if you want to get the actual numbers that were ripped or found or sourced from NeoGAF, you can definitely do so, but they were much lower. But however, I will say a couple different things here. One, the original chart track, they didn't put the actual numbers like the Media Create Japan sales charts go, or like the leaked numbers that we see from the NPD, or some of the numbers that these companies put out when it comes to Nintendo as far as how many games they sold, whether it's physical or digital. So that's something to take into account here. The chart track never really does that. So that's really the reason why I don't really report on them too much. But the reason why I'm reporting on this is because we did actually get those numbers ripped out from there as far as a source. So if you want to see those, make sure you check out the link in the description below. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about Destiny 2 as far as what went down with this game. Now, we still need to see the US sales. We still need to see some of the other areas as far as European sales go, but I would bet that the sales were probably down across the board. A lot of people are playing the game. I actually watched quite a bit of it this weekend, and it actually looks fantastic. But it does look very similar to the first game, of course, because it's built in the same engine, and I don't really think that they had much time to make a ton of graphics improvements outside of supporting like the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X, or even the upcoming PC version that will be launching sometime in October or something like that. So I don't really feel that, like, for the vanilla PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions, there really wasn't going to be many improvements. So that's why people are saying, oh, well, it looks exactly like the first one. Well, yeah, there really wasn't going to be any improvements for just the vanilla Destiny experience, because it already looked really good back in 2014. These developers know how to use these x86 PC-like consoles, so there's really nowhere to really go unless you have more power in the system like the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X. But even on those systems, or at least with the PlayStation 4 Pro, doesn't look so much better than what the PlayStation 4 can push, which I think is also by a little bit by design, just because of the confines of the CPU and stuff like that as far as what you can do and the graphics, and making sure that you have a stable frame rate. But either way, I do feel that Destiny basically wasn't as hyped. Obviously, with Destiny 1 coming out, people were hyping this game to no end, and everyone was saying this is going to be the first real next generation experience, and it didn't really turn out that way. I purchased Destiny the Taken King once they actually added in a bunch of content, and I never really got through all of that extra content that they added in, just because I saw it as a very standard shooter. I didn't really see much unique or innovative about it, but I do know that people really do like the franchise. Now, going to Destiny 2, it just didn't seem like the hype was there. I think a lot of people who bought the game just because other people bought the game, or because it was the popular thing to do at the time, I think a lot of those people are just kind of like, yeah, we're not falling for the same thing again, and that's the reason why the sales are a lot lower as far as the UK goes. Now, we still need to see the US and other places, but I would guess that it's not quite as high. So we'll see what happens with Destiny and the franchise in the future. Are any of you guys playing the game out there? Do you guys like it? What do you enjoy the most about it? Let me know in the comments section below. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap on the Nintendo Switch has sold more than all the other versions combined. So the folks over at Gamasutra recently talked to several indie developers about the Nintendo Switch, about what it's like to develop for the system, how to get into contact with Nintendo, the process, and so many other things. Now, one of the developers that they interviewed was Omar Cornut from Lizard Cube, and the team responsible for Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. And it does seem like the game did sell quite well on the Nintendo Switch. Cornut said that they sold, quote, more copies of Wonder Boy on the Nintendo Switch than the 3 other platforms we released on combined. That's definitely a sign that a lot of smaller indie games can have some success on the Nintendo Switch despite the lower install base of the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, PS Vita, or whatever other system that indie developers are putting their games out on PC. And that's definitely a positive sign that we're seeing those sales. We're probably going to see more indie developers hop on as time goes on. We've had 2 Indies Directs at this point, and both of them have been pretty good with some nice quality games and some high quality stuff. Now there's still some more indie games that people are teasing, as far as Absolver or whatever that custom fighting game is. People are saying that Devolver Digital should put on the Nintendo Switch, so we'll see if other games like that come over when it comes to the mid-size and things like that. But overall, this type of news is something that you want to hear. You want to see that smaller developers can have success on the Nintendo Switch, even though the install base is lower. You want to see developers having this type of success, because in turn that'll create more games, that'll create some loyalty, or that'll create stuff to where we can get games in a better fashion when it comes to Nintendo Switch and all systems really. But I think the biggest example of this, as far as why it's important for sales, especially for developers like this, is because they can grow. And if it does well on Nintendo systems, look at what we get. Now we've had the Bit Trip Runner series that was on the WiiWare, and then we also had Bit Trip Runner 2 because of the success on the WiiWare device. They said, okay, well, we're launching it on the Wii U first, and that did very well on the Wii U. And because of success of the version on the Wii U, they're saying, hey, we're doing Nintendo Switch and PC. So Nintendo Switch gets a console exclusive, at least for the time being. So that's the reason why it's important. When these developers see that they can have success on a Nintendo system, it encourages and inspires them to do more for the system and for the fans, in addition to just making a better overall quality game, because Runner 3 looks amazing. So the next Wonder Boy or whatever they do next can have more of a budget, can have more time put into it in order for us to get better games. So what do you guys think about this news here? How do you feel about Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap on the Nintendo Switch? Do you like the game? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the last article here. A Nintendo Switch and 3DS focused Nintendo Direct is set for September 13th. So the rumors were true, and this will be a 45-minute presentation. So let's get into this article here, and then we'll talk about this Direct. So Nintendo will host a 45-minute Nintendo Direct presentation, mainly focused on what's headed to the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo 3DS over the next few months. And just to let you guys know, few for many people is about 3. So the few is 3. So pretty much for 2017, but you never know. Now let's continue on here, including new details about Super Mario Odyssey. The Direct will take place on Wednesday, September 13th at 3 p.m. PT / 6 p.m. ET. 23 o'clock BST, the company has announced. Now you'll be able to watch it live at the following links for North America, Europe, and Japan, and I'll have all of that laid out in the description below, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are hyped about this one. So let's talk about it. So the rumors were true when it comes to Nintendo Direct, which I didn't know if it was coming or not, but hey, it is here pretty much. We've got 2 days from the time that I'm recording this video that the big show will be going down. So what's gonna go on in this Direct? Well, I'll have a preview video as far as what I think can happen, basically a prediction show as far as what we're going to see. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting if any of those predictions come to fruition. But yeah, so I would just say just my early impressions as far as the Nintendo Direct is that I'm hyped. Obviously, it's a 45-minute presentation. Once again, Nintendo says, yeah, E3, what was that, like 20-something minutes at E3? We don't care. You know why? Because we have Nintendo Directs. I had people telling me that I'm damage controlling when I said that, when I'm like, well, it doesn't need to be the be-all end-all. Like, Nintendo will do bigger Nintendo Directs because Nintendo wants to have news throughout the year and spotlight when they feel like it. And here we go. We've got another Nintendo Direct, literally blowing out the time of the Nintendo spotlight at E3. So once again, Nintendo proves that no, they don't play by other people's rules when it comes to the industry. They play by their own. And if they want to have a shorter time during E3 and focus on other things, that's fine. If they want to have a bigger Direct towards the end of the year because they feel that they can gather their audience whenever they have news, then they'll do that. So that's exactly what they're doing here, and I'm just telling you exactly how Nintendo is. And I like it, man. I don't want everything to be shown at E3 then nothing for the rest of the year. I really like the fact that they do different Directs, and those Directs could drop just as much news or even more news than E3, because I don't live or die for E3 like it's 2003 or something like that, you know? So this is really good. But like I said, I'll have a prediction show where I go over what I think. But my early impressions are Xenoblade Chronicles 2 release dates, in addition to Skyrim release dates and Rocket League release date. I think that we're going to get release dates for those 3 games. Those are big games coming to the Nintendo Switch this year. I think we'll also get another few like announcements as far as new games, ports coming over. But once again, like I said, I'll have a show where I talk about those things and what I think which games, but definitely expect to see a couple big Japanese titles being announced. Just me predicting on that one, but you know, we'll get into that in my prediction show that I'll have. So I might do a live show with like maybe Rob from Rule 2 Review if I can. I got to get into contact with him. So maybe I'll do a live show with him. Maybe I'll do a live show with Nintendo Ultra. So we'll see about that going forward in the future. But what do you guys think about all the news that I went over today? Are you excited? You hyped? You not? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the internet. In addition to YouTube, also make sure you check out our Patreon page. Pledge any tier and be entered in to win some awesome prizes. In addition to that, we have Discord voice chat and $10 prize eShop tournaments for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and more. So support PE Live and PE Arena right here on PlayerEssence. Also, make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you Ninja for the next video. Peace.